Wow.
Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
How are you?
I am pretty good. Kind of feeling a little sick today, but getting better.
Is it the heat, or is it hot where you are?
Or
something
I don't think
else?
it's that. I think it's something. I think it's something with my guts. Haven't figured out yet.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks. But overall, pretty good.
Are you up for it then?
Yes. How about you? How are you?
I am better. I had a meltdown today, but I'm better. Before we start, I had the air conditioner on for the first time this year, but I can turn it off if it bothers you. So
I don't think I hear it at all.
Okay, then let's leave it on and be bad to the environment. No, I'm just kidding. I hate air conditioner, but it's just very hot today.
Yeah, for your sanity.
For my sanity, so I can think or feel.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I didn't fully realize what it was until I went out for a short walk and just came back, and it's another aspect of another phase or another whatever of me feeling inadequate. That kind of just raged today. And actually, yes, well, I have been filled with self-pity, resentment, and anger. And I've been crying, and I've been trying to kind of figure out what the sources are. I mean, there is a lot on my plate, and not all of it is good. I mean, I won't go into it, but I have 2 health issues that are not life-threatening, but are pretty significant. Hopefully we can, so, and then my daughter, which is really good, she got a job in the Midwest, and she's moving, which is very exciting. But, since my ex is going to have major surgery this week, and will be out of capacity the whole summer till early fall. I am the one who kind of is helping her with the move and all of that, right? So that's on my plate, and I don't begrudge it but it's still on my plate. Then I really I'm not earning money these days, which is bugging me a lot. And then part of me, and then they're both good and tension filled inside me about my relationship, because like we said last time, in many ways I feel like a junior partner, but at the same time, if things are going to move, I am the one who have to make the changes because he has a day job.
Right.
So and also therefore, and so I am also the one who travel most of the time because he lives alone. So I'm the one who live in a suitcase, and have just the minimum of what I need when I'm there, while he has all his belongings, right? Which is, so I'm always a guest. I feel like a guest. He doesn't want me to feel like a guest, but I do. And then I feel like this earning money has bothered me the last couple of days, because when I went away in May, of course he was paid. Even he was paid, right? He was paid while we were away, because he's salaried, and it was part of his package that he could do this. Well, I decided, that I was going to forgo income. I don't know how much income I would have earned in May. Could have been little. It could have been little, right? But I said to myself, okay, this is very important. I'm going to take May off. And, I had zero income, which felt right when I did it. But now, today, it makes me feel, wow, I am the irresponsible one. I do things like that. Well, he has this stability around him, which makes him, first of all, he doesn't have to make those choices. And, I could have had a salaried job too if I hadn't jumped off a few years ago. So it's not like I did it because I wanted to, but it makes me feel still, he has this stability around him. And I feel vulnerable and inadequate and feel why. And like, I'm the one making all these choices that kind of, does impact things like income a lot. Well, he doesn't have to make those.
Right.
And then I become resentful, which I have no reason to be. But there is something at the bottom there that he, like, today we go to talk, but I couldn't talk. I just started crying. So I said, I have to hang up. And I made him really sad too. But it was like he was sitting outside and he's saying, oh, it's lovely here right now, even if it's hot. You would have liked to be here too. And it's always like, he assumes that where he is better. Where he is better. And that I would rather be there. Well, I may not. I would like to be with him, but I like New York. New York is gritty.
Right.
But New York is my city. I've lived in New York since 1988. And so that fueled even more resentment that I couldn't articulate at that point because I wasn't aware where it was coming from. So instead, I just asked if he could hang up because I wasn't able to talk.
Right. And that was from what he said about what sounded like his place being better.
His place being better. Mm-hmm. And he was enjoying his place right then. I mean, he was enjoying it. And I'm not enjoying myself right now because I feel like, because I am full of self-pity and part of me just want to drop it all, but I can't do that. I know I'm not clear, but it's all at the core. It is about me and me feeling inadequate the way I am and how my situation is, and that I am not able to muster enough self-love to get rid of that feeling of inadequacy. That's what it is.
Okay.
I think, but there's more. There's probably, but so where do I go with that?
Well, the way you've described it about not mustering enough self-love for that inadequate part, that's kind of my assumption too, is that there's not enough self-energy available for that part. So to me, that's at least the accurate view, is that there isn't enough self to be there for those parts.
Yeah.
So that's good news from my perspective, is that we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah. And when I was out walking and actually saw that was kind of when I was starting to feeling a little better. I could make some rhyme and reason out of it.
Right. Yeah. So where do you go with that when you feel like you can't muster the self-love? That was your question.
Yeah, that was my question. Where do I go when I can't muster it? Let's see. Because there is so many things in me that telling me that, yes, there's so many triggers or so many kind of thoughts or that's things that flash up, right? Like resentment. He thinks that he thinks that his is better, and kind of assumes that I would rather be there. Flash makes me angry, right, inside because of the way I'm feeling right now. He's telling me, but you're not alone. But I'm feeling so alone. Because who is going to move my daughter? Who is going to go and visit my ex in the hospital? Because, I'd kind of be there a little for him together with the others. Because I'm kind of in his inner circle, even if he is my ex. Because we had this daughter together, right? So we have kind of... So now who's going to do that? Who is going to earn my money? Is he going to pay my rent? I guess, if I said to him, I don't have money for rent, can you pay it? Because I would never, I couldn't do that and I wouldn't want to do it. He probably would say, yes. But that doesn't work for me, okay? That doesn't work for me. So that's kind of a non-starter. So basically that is, when he's saying you're not alone, we're together, and I'm thinking, but I am so alone. I am the one who is feeling all these feelings, which I can't really express because it makes me sound resentful and petty. And I'm the one who is sort of angry because if changes are happening, I'm the one who will have to make them. And I'm not totally against making them, but it's still...
Yeah, more sacrifices.
Yeah, and even if... In a way it is. But still, almost like he has the upper hand because he has this stability around him that, yeah, it's... And then there is, so I'm kind of filled with some pettiness and resentment and anger, which feeds into this feeling of being inadequate.
Yeah.
Am I making bad choices for myself? No, I wouldn't have been without those 4 weeks we spent away. But something inside of me saying, you fool. You may have to take out of your retirement saving to pay your rent this month because of that,
Yeah.
So even if I don't regret, I have this voice that tells me, you're a fool. In order to kind of meet him, you have to get your own house in order. I have to be able to feel like I'm meeting him from a stronger place. If you understand what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Like if your house is out of order, if you don't have your stability, then you can't meet him in his stable place.
Yeah, because then I definitely will feel like the junior partner. He's telling me, I don't see you that way. He's saying things like, I admire you for A, B, C. But it's all with me then. So how do I get out of that rut? Well, more self-love, more self-energy. But how do I get there?
Yeah, I have a question. You said that you can't express some of your feelings because then you would sound resentful and petty.
Mm.
And I'm curious if you could express all of those feelings to him in the right way.
In the right way, yeah.
Yeah, how much of this would be alleviated?
Probably quite a bit, actually. Or am I fooling myself?
And I really don't know. It's not a loaded question.
No,
I'm wondering, is that 10% of the problem or 90% of the problem? Or...
Okay. It seems to be that if I was able to express it in a way that I didn't feel that it came out, petty, resentful, attacking.
Mm-hmm.
If I was able to do that, okay, but maybe then I would be able to validate and respect myself more and But I would hopefully be able to, but I see how external I am. Because what I really would want to get out of that would be to feel validated by him, right?
Right. Which would require that you express your feelings really directly or honestly, so that he's able to validate them, right?
But but I want, okay, so whether that is 10%, 20%, 50%, 60%, I wouldn't be able to do that unless I was able to say this to myself in the way was able to say it to myself in a way. I'm so scatterbrained today.
Okay. How do you feel about like how well you said it to me? Or how accurately you expressed the many feelings that you're having?
I think I expressed it pretty accurately. There's likely more or likely nuances if I delve into it. However, what I'm grappling with is that I am the one who is not accepting my own feelings.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. So you're saying if you don't accept them, then you shouldn't expect other people to accept them or help out with them.
Exactly. Yeah. If I can't accept them, then if I don't accept it and I said it to him, even if I said it calmly, and he responded in an empathetic way, or in an empathetic way, I would feel pitied and not respected because I don't respect.
Okay. May I ask, do you feel pity from me?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't feel pity from you. Because I don't think I am making use. I don't think you have an emotional investment in it in a way that could, it's different.
Okay.
I mean, you do have an emotional investment in it, but not in, to put it. Yeah, wait. I do not feel pity for you. That's clear. Probably one of the few clear things that are clear. But I don't feel like I'm in a junior partner in a relationship with you, even if I am the one who's seeking help. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It was just because you had said if you like empathized and validated that you would feel that you would have that pity feeling.
Yeah, because because I am kind of stuck in an angry feeling of inadequacy. So I am kind of barking, and I think I'm also barking to myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have that part that says you're a fool, not taking care of yourself or finances or whatever.
And then I have this part, this longing. Gosh, if I could just throw it all away and just leave and be with him and do nothing, I would, I have this really longing to do that, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
So that is complicating the whole thing. I feel inadequate. I have these voices telling me I'm not taking good care of myself. What's happening? I used to take good care of myself, right? That way. I used to take good care of myself. I used to be very disciplined. I used to, be very good at organizing and getting things done. And these days, I'm giving up too much of that and see what happens. See what happens. I'm not really taking care of myself well enough. So money is a worry.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That part of you that does want to throw it all away and just go be taken care of by him is conflicting with the part of you that says that you need to be independent and
exactly.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of myself. And I used to be so good at it. Well, so good at it. I used to be good at it. I don't need to sew. That's not, I used to. I've been so independent. It's not even funny. I haven't expected help from anybody with anything. I mean, even in my marriage, he was unemployed for half of our marriage. I was the only breadwinner. I went back to work after 2 months of unpaid maternity leave. It was brutal. I was totally depressed. But, I got divorced. I was able to kind of move out. He was unemployed. He didn't pay child support for years. Found an apartment. She wanted to be with me. Bum, 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 bum. I've been, I took her on trips. She was not an easy child. It's like everything. I've just done it myself. Haven't expected an iota because I didn't think anybody would help me. And now I'm kind of banging my head against. And yeah. You there?
I'm here. Sorry.
No. How can I have compassion for this feeling of inadequacy? Because how can I get beyond it?
there's a part of you that tells you that you fucked up, you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then the feeling of inadequacy, it kind of is internalizing that, right? It's saying, yeah, I am doing it wrong. Does that sound right? I mean, I know there's a lot of other parts that you named, but
I don't know if it's that. Um, it goes back to that big question that I think we have worked on in various forms several times about how do I hold on to myself while at the same time opening up and letting go of some of my protections. How do I do that? Because it feels like when we are together, I let go and I let go and I let go. And he doesn't really need to, because he is a little, well, it's his turf. So, you know, and it feels good for a while. But then when I get back home, I see kind of the consequences of it. Like, I'm really not working very much right now. I mean, there are other consequences, but some of them would have happened anyway. Like, you know, I'm not able to exercise as much because of that darn foot, which is it's something. I may need to have surgery, and it's a really long recovery.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's the scary part, is the recovery is so long.
And you two are still, it's still on the table that you might move in together.
But you know, when I'm in New York, you know, it's like I have my stationary bicycle on my balcony. Because that's no impact. I have a big space in my bedroom. I can roll out my yoga mat. All these things that are more complicated when I'm with him, because there is no stationary bicycle there. And where we currently live, it's not like I can just, that part, which I've let go of a lot more than I would have, even if I'd been in New York. And that irks me. It's because it's more complicated there.
Yeah.
Here, and it may sound trivial, but it's part of that thing of giving up, giving away, you know, going with the flow.
Yeah.
While his life stays the same very much. He might say it doesn't, but that's for him to say. For me.
He might say what?
That you know, his life is changing too. But it's so basically, it's like, how am I able? It's so tricky, So this parts in me, I think it's a lot of fear there. It's a lot of fear that I may be giving up something that I will never get back if things go wrong.
Right.
And then resentment, because some of this I would like to keep, and I would want it to be as easy. Well, I want it to be as easy to do as it is in New York, right? So easy to work as it is in New York. You know, I'm set up with my work table. You know, I want it to be as easy to work when I'm there, for example. I want it to be if I want to do yoga, I want it to be as easy to just, close the door and do my yoga, because I'm private about things like that. I don't like, I'm not, so, and it's everything is more complicated. And then I let it go, and then this voice comes and says, you're not making good decisions for yourself. Or it's saying, it's scared, it's saying, help, what's happening? I'm giving up too much.
When I'm with him.
I'm giving up too much. Of course, I'm getting a lot, but I want both.
Yeah.
It's like I want both. I don't want to choose.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, have you had that conversation with him? Have you said, oh, I wish I had a place to work and I wish I had my exercise bike and here's the things that I don't like that I'm giving up when I'm here?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But you're right. That's when you said it, it sounded like, yeah, if somebody said that to me, I said, yes, let's see if we can find a solution,
Mm-hmm.
See, I haven't had those. And the reason I haven't, it seems like the reason I haven't had those is because I am in conflict with myself, whether it is reasonable for me to still hold on to that.
Right.
Or whether I should let go more and not care about that anymore.
Right. So there's the part of you that wants to let go. And there's part of you that wants to hold on and not give up any of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those two parts are in conflict. And as long as they are in Yeah. And then, of course, I can complain about it. I haven't done it that much, but I could be passive aggressive about it, right?
Sure.
Because that's all. You can always, but I can't say it clearly because I'm not clear about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the way you're explaining it to me is really clear, and it makes complete sense that a part of you wants to give it all up, and when you're with him, that part maybe is even stronger, and it says, oh, forget all these routines and forget all this other stuff I care about. I'm having fun and let him take care of me. And then there's a part of you that says, this is crazy. You can't not make money. You can't not exercise. And I have those parts too. When I'm with other people, how much do I let go of my precious routines and my safe harbor at home? And I think it's normal to have those parts conflicting. And they're going to probably keep conflicting. That's just the nature of parts. They're kind of radical and at the extremes.
Yeah.
But they both make sense. I mean, they're reasons.
They both make sense. With me, it becomes really, when it comes to a head, when it comes to a head, it becomes really, really sore and existential feeling. And it goes, and I think I know the reason for that, because that was part of my early life. I couldn't have both. I couldn't have both a mother and a father. I mean, it was as existential as that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it continued after my mother kidnapped us or abducted us, because in the house I grew up in, of course, she was saying, you know, all the worst things in the world about my father, how terrible he was. And if I wasn't on her side, then I would lose, not that I had any love for her, from her really, but I would lose her even more completely,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't allowed, even at a distance, to love my father. I could never get him back in you know, in flesh and blood, because, you know, she had taken me away. But I couldn't even love him and respect him, because that would be disloyal right. to that narcissistic person who. So even inside myself, I didn't allow myself to love my father, because that was disloyal right. to the family I grew up in. So I couldn't have both.
Right. Yeah. So at that time, you really had to pick one and go with it.
Pick one and go with it. Just for survival. Just for survival. Not for love.
Absolutely.
Just for survival.
Yeah.
And of course, not of course, but, and this is so different. But
right.
It comes in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want both, but I can't have both. I don't want to give up anything. And now I have to give up too much. Mm-hmm. And it's those very basic, childish, raw feelings that makes it so emotionally dense, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, intellectually, of course, I can decouple it, you know.
You can get out the piece of paper and say, here's what makes sense, kind of.
Yes, of course I can. Yes,
right. But emotionally, those parts are up and they're at odds, and they're very strong because of that history of having to pick one.
And I think that also what fuels some of the resentment and anger, that I kind of anticipate that I will have to choose, even without asking, which I really don't think I have, but I anticipate that that's what I will have to do. And that is it's almost like I'm programmed. My faith is, my destiny is, not my faith, because it's not religion, but my destiny is that I have to choose.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have both. I don't have enough. It's like I can't have both. I'm not worthy of both. And when I inside rebel against that, then I feel petty and resentful.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the inadequacy is a little bit on the side, but it's part of this, part of the picture too.
Right.
That I cannot, you know, if I was able to stand up for myself and say, I want both, and this is how I want it.
Yeah, you know? I'm worthy of having the best that I can get here.
I'm worthy of having the best that I can have here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't think I would feel that inadequate either, because I think that inadequacy is probably rooted in some anticipatory lack, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm inadequate because I can't have the whole thing. So there is always something that's missing.
Right. Yeah. To me, the inadequate sounds kind of like the same, similar to the not worthy of both.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
in my mental model, I'm considering that an exile. That's the exile, and the protectors that are polar are give up and give in and go along versus hold on and fight for you to have it just the way you want and not.
And you know,
yeah.
I think that is probably at the, you know, I think I've told you before that inside myself, I was kind of an angry child. And I think that was at the root of it. That conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of my anger is coming from now too. I'm battling with myself.
Right. Parts are battling with parts. If self was to get in there, then and validate, as we kind of did already, that the hold on part makes sense and is a worthy or a valid part of you, and that the give in part makes sense, then self, in theory, can mediate and make decisions and lead them, and kind of take both of their votes and understand them. But it does require kind of validating them.
Yes.
And part of that validation is recognizing that exile energy and saying, I can see why these two parts are both so kind of embattled because of this part of me that says I'm not worthy of having both. And so if self is in contact with that part, then it just gives it what it needs, which is, again, that validation and love.
Because if I kind of feel into into that exile, that feels that she's not worthy of having both.
Yeah.
I say, of course you are.
Right.
I want you to have everything.
Right.
But there is this other big part that tells me, you know, if that makes me selfish, uncaring, self-absorbed.
Yeah, that part's welcome too.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important to recognize that the exile part is a part of you. It's probably a young part of you, and you're giving it what a young child needs, which is to have, in a way, the world kind of revolve around it, right? It's what a baby needs. It's what a
that's what the child needs. I mean, then
they're supposed to be selfish.
Of course, yes.
Right.
They're supposed to be taken care of. They're supposed to kind of be admired. They're supposed to,
and they're not supposed to take care of other people. Right.
And that was what I had to do far too early.
Right. And you have this part of you that says, no, I can't do that. That would be selfish, because I'm guessing at that age, you did have to You did have to take care of others and take care of yourself in a way that...
Yeah, when I was, just something popped into my mind. I think I was 13 or something like that. And I felt super selfish. I think I'd just become anorexic, which means that I was very rigid, right? I was very rigid, and I also got, of course, the feedback that I was super selfish, whatever I was. So once I was trying to free myself from that. So I went to my grandfather and I said to him, I probably wanted to say it to myself, but I wanted somebody to validate me. So I said to him, it's good to be selfish.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me like I came from another planet. So, of course, I got the opposite of validation. I cannot try to put it out there. So then I went, it didn't work. But, that was, I had that in me too, that I realized that it isn't all, I am not all a monster.
Right.
I have to take care. It's good to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself.
Right.
But of course, the environment that I grew up in wasn't conducive. That was heresy or whatever it was.
Yeah. So when you acknowledge that part, does it let you get back to being with that one who doesn't feel worthy? Sometimes you can just do this 1 minute at a time. You can say, okay, part, I see you. Can I just have 1 minute to be with this one who doesn't feel worthy?
Just that part is... that part that doesn't feel worthy still has strong wants, and she's in despair.
Yeah.
Because what she wants, she's not worthy of.
Right.
So she either has to... in that environment I grew up, there really wasn't a choice.
Right.
Well, the choice was to kind of succumb to the unworthiness. But then, of course, I still kept some of those wants alive. So it never got out of the tension. And that was where the anger came, of course, and other things.
Yeah. So it's just about going back and being with her, updating her with your current time and your current age, without dismissing her experience and how she might feel stuck back there.
Yeah.
But just letting her show you how that was for her.
Oh, it is such a torment.
Yeah. And then asking her what you can do for her from this new place that you're in, and with these resources that you do have now.
I realized before we go there, I realized now that probably much of my childhood depression was because of that turmoil. When it became too desperate and I kind of felt too much into being worthless, that was when I sang, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was mustering some fighting, in a fighting energy, that was when I climbed up again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that little girl. My goodness, did she suffer.
Yeah. She needs to be able to show you that and to be welcome inside of you.
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying at the beginning, that that's what she needs, what that part of you needs.
Mm. Oh, I do feel so for that little girl.
Yeah.
It is such turmoil.
Yeah. I want to show her that. Show her that that you care and that you
I do
are there.
Care. I do care. I care a lot. I would love to take her out of there. Did you know that I'm crying? Because I am. But you don't have to know that. But I am.
Thanks for letting me know.
And that's okay.
It's very okay. And it's okay if she cries. It's okay for her to show you her vulnerability and her grief, torment that she's had to carry.
She had to erase her father from her heart. Almost.
Almost. She had to hide it. She had to exile it. Just ask her what she needs from you.
She needs to be understood. Please.
That understanding is kind of a absolutely necessary step that I'm always recommending to people.
Yeah.
When we do get in touch with an exile, we can't really help them until we understand them, until they trust that we understand them.
And she needs not to feel pressured to choose.
Yeah.
She needs to be allowed to feel whatever she feels.
Yeah.
I feel safe that she won't lose my love, whatever she feels. She needs to be protected. She needs to be hugged. She needs to be cuddled.
Yeah. Does she trust that you can do that for her?
I think she trusts I can do it. I'm not sure if she trusts I will take the time to do it.
Okay.
Take enough time to do it. Or Well, let's wait. Okay. I think she trusts that I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if she trusts that I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she is wary that that some of the protectors are still strong.
Yes. Yep.
And may come and...
They make all of this work really hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it hard to get to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think she sees that I understand her and that I feel compassion for her. But it's almost like she's not sure if I will sit with her if those when those protectors come.
Right.
That
I think she's right. I mean, I think she's right. That's what happens to us. We get blended with protectors, and exiles get exiled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then that's the question: is how to address that, how to find your way back to her. And how to get permission from those protectors.
Yeah. I think it feels like what I think. It feels like I can get their permission to come and sit with her. But can I get their permission to take her side? To fully be with her? There's so much ingrained there. It's almost like I was a fundamentalist Lutheran. I don't know if you actually know what Lutheranism is. There isn't very much. My family was very religious, but the town I grew up in was very Lutheran.
Uh-huh.
And, there's so much life denying, pleasure denying. Stricter there. It's the way I've treated myself. It's almost like I was a fundamentalist Lutheran who doesn't believe in God.
Right. And that's what the concern is here, is that they're kind of, the protectors won't have that faith, or won't let you have that same degree of presence with this part.
Because they're very righteous, right? They're very righteous. And it's like, to them, it's like saying, it's good to be selfish. And that looks staring blankly back at me, like, who does she think she is?
It's interesting. Selfish.
It's interesting.
It's an interesting word, selfish, in this modality, when self is kind of the God here.
I know, and this is totally different. And if an other person came to me and talked to me the way I'm talking right now, I would so encourage them to listen to that as much as they could, to listen to that exile and be with her. And see if we can get something else to do for those protectors. And I would But okay, so I can feel some movement though, because at least I'm in touch with her. And I really feel for her when I'm with her. And I can see her suffering. And I don't want her to suffer anymore. She has suffered enough.
And what she's asking for is to be understood.
Yeah.
And to not have to, and to be able to feel the way she feels and not have to choose. Yeah.
And to get out of that.
Maybe that's something you could. Maybe that's something you can offer as kind of a different space that you can meet her in.
Yeah.
Where she feels a little more open to being able to feel however she feels.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beginning, right? And just feel into. I'm almost laughing now because I felt into, you don't have to choose. And then I almost got overwhelmed by that. Because it brings me back to, I don't know if you remember, but there was a time when I built that house for that little one.
Yeah.
And she could have whatever she wanted in that house. And it felt so lovely. And I think, I don't know if but I could also feel at the periphery that part that was afraid that I would blow up. I would just want too much, get too big. I would want too much.
Right.
So if if this little one doesn't have to choose, will she want too much? So I have to, that's what these parts are saying, right?
Right. Yeah, that's why I was thinking, what if she had her own space, kind of like you did with that house, where it's like, you can want all you want here with me. In this place, you're safe to want all you want. And those protectors that say you shouldn't, they can have their own space where they make sense.
At least to themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you ever watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that little greedy girl who blew up.
Yeah.
The blueberry. That's me.
Yes.
That's me.
Yeah.
That blueberry girl. Because because she was too selfish. Right? That was a punishment for being too selfish.
Right, and she was punished.
Yeah. In that sweet fairy tale, she was punished.
Right. And for the part that says that you shouldn't be selfish, again, like that also makes sense. And it's true that if you acted only like that out in the world, like the little girl from Willy Wonka, you would also be punished by the world in various ways. So that's why when we're with parts, it's all about making space for them.
For them inside.
And inside it's safe. You can want what you want.
Yeah.
Your desires. I don't have to live them all out. But I'm also not going to bury them and say that and disown them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. Yes, and that is. I'm not going to bury them and disown them. They are valid, even if I don't act out on them. They are valid. They're not unworthy. They are not something that I can't have.
Right.
And that doesn't mean I have to have it in the real world,
Right.
In the outer world. What is the real world? God knows what is real, but in the external world. Yeah. I think I'm moving a little bit. There is something subtle that is shifting.
Yeah, I hear it. Anytime you're in self-energy, the parts are helped and healed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that.
Yeah. Because this little girl is so worthy. She's so worthy of all her wants. But again, I may not be able to deliver on all of them, but she's so worthy of all of them.
Yeah, she's worthy of having you there, someone who respects and validates all of her wants.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. She respects and validates it. And if they respect it and validate it, that's what the core.
Right. I'm thinking of like when a kid's making a Christmas list and you say, put everything on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I know and you know that you're not going to get all the things.
Yeah.
But I would never stop you from telling me what matters to you and what you care about and and to let you dream.
By the way, I wasn't allowed to have a Christmas list because I was selfish.
I wonder if that's something that she would like to do with you.
Oh, I think she would love to have a Christmas list. She never got what she wanted for Christmas. But she still had to be grateful for what she got.
Maybe that's something you could do together.
Yeah.
I do it with my parts.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I like that.
It's fun.
Yeah. Sounds fun. I want to do that.
Okay. Yeah. You can do it in just a few minutes. Just tell me everything you want. I got a piece of paper. Go. Yeah.
And then, and I think that is something to get used to, that it's okay to want it.
Right.
It's okay to want it. You can want whatever I want. She can want whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to brainstorm more or discuss more about that? About she's saying, well, you won't come back and do this, or these other protectors won't let you come be with me fully in the future.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas about that, or what the next steps there would be?
I'm not sure. It seems like I have to convince them that she's not going to cause havoc. And the way to do that is just to see if are they on board with that it's okay to want. Because if I can get them on board with that, it's not threatening to them to want.
Yeah.
Then when they're rare, when they come up, which they will, if I can just have that as a mantra, it's okay to want. Can you give her some space?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that could be a way in. I don't know.
Yeah. Could be. I'm thinking that the ones that say it's not okay to want, if you tell them, well, it is okay to want, then you're arguing with those protectors and they might dig in. So I was thinking something like, would it work to say, the parts that say it's not okay to want, that's okay too. You're okay. I understand why you're saying what you say. And will you give me some space to be with this other part that wants to want?
Because she has a safe space,
Right?
Where she's wanting,
right? Because I'm here.
She won't. She's not going to bother you,
right? Because I see the differences between you all, and I can be there for each of you and make a space for each of you.
That's really something to. That's something that I want. That's something that I want. That's something I want to be able to do, that's something I would want to be able to become part of.
Yeah.
The way I interact with myself.
Well, good news. I've seen you do it a bunch in conversations with me.
Yeah.
So I know you're capable of it. And I know that your parts respond well when you do. I'm not saying it's easy, but
no, and sometimes I probably and if I was able to joke a little about it too, with myself, I mean. So it's not always so deadly serious. I'll just tell you something that I've just realized was kind of actually a little funny. I don't, so when we were away, we had a lot of ice cream. And of course, a Lutheran in me came up and said, you're having too much ice cream.
Too much ice cream.
Too much ice cream. So I had to tell him too. I actually was able to make a joke out of it. I was able to say, the Lutheran in me telling me that, I have had ice cream 3 days in a row. I can't have ice cream today. I can't have ice cream today.
Nice, speaking for your parts.
And I was able to joke about it a little. So and then we both laughed. So,
and did you say the Lutheran in me?
I did say the Lutheran in me.
Yeah. So you were able to express yourself by using parts language. Yeah. There's a part of me that says too much ice cream. And then by using the parts language, it does make it lighter because it's not me. It's not me the curmudgeon or me. It's just parts of me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's when you were talking about having difficulty expressing it all to him. Yeah. I'm thinking parts language is the way to go. I mean, because you, in theory, can share these things and say, a part of me doesn't feel worthy. A part of me wants to give it all up. A part of me wants to hold on.
Yeah. And it does understand a little of it. quite uncanny. We had lunch with a friend of his who actually is a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all talking, and then I said to her, I said, well, I'm working with I have found IFS.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, wow, IFS, yeah, I love IFS. And she was like, and then he was just sitting there listening, because this was all new territory for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was kind of funny how we bonded on that. He was listening to I was talking.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be formal. You can just say, that Lutheran part of me.
Yeah, and I could call it a Lutheran, because it's kind of a Lutheran in some ways. Mm-hmm. No fun, no wants, no this, no that.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay, I will. I want to interact with myself along the lines that you said, when the Lutheran comes up and says, I say, okay, this is for you too. Can I still go to her?
Yeah. Yep. Just speaking for parts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I want to do that, and I want to do the Christmas list too. Often. Not every day, maybe, but often, especially if I feel down, let's make a Christmas list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else? Any other intentions you'd like to set?
Well, I think okay, so just to say, I kind of observing inside me that she's listening and feeling heard.
Mm-hmm.
Any other observations? Yeah, I think what's is important is that when these self-denial Lutherans are too loud, that I don't get taken over by them, because it makes me feel so miserable.
Right.
And that's when the conflict starts.
Right. Yep. Just keep practicing noticing them, turning towards them, asking them to turn towards you.
Mm-hmm. And realizing that, of course, I did have a purpose, that they may still have a purpose,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They probably do have some kind of regulatory purpose, but when I was young, they had to regulate a lot.
Right.
And make sense of things, right? It's not good. It's not good to be selfish, of course. I shouldn't be it.
Right.
I shouldn't be like that.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous.
You can do it.
I can do it. If I was able to joke about it with ice cream, that's so right.
That's right. Yeah. You talked about, not being able to muster the self-love. And in our last call, you talked about setting an alarm to make a practice of it.
And I did, but I rarely acted on it. I acted on it other times when I set my alarm for, I think, 8 in the evening. And I never did it at 8 in the evening, but I have done it sometimes, not as regularly as that. If you see my calendar, it's 8 in the evening every night till eternity.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You'll at least be able to collect some data and see, you know, what does happen when you are intentionally making that space.
But I think this time I feel even more touched or in touch with the young parts than I did last time. This time it really struck me how this exile really, the despair of her, and how that really I don't know, it was the whole bottom, but it was so much the source of, you know, that's what I went through.
Yeah.
That tension of not being worthy and still feeling the stirrings and having to push it all down. And when I went too far to the unworthy side, that I just plunged into the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was good, feeling that so strongly was kind of a wake-up call in a way. So maybe I will be able to maybe I will not be able to, maybe I will have a stronger urge and feel more the importance of staying with her and not dismiss myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so easy to dismiss myself. It's not even funny.
Parts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I'm exhausted.
Okay. Well, keep me posted. And do we have another call scheduled?
We don't. And I was thinking about that. There's nothing before you start up again in August, which sounds terrifying.
Well, Okay, so I'm leaving for Vietnam in the middle of July.
I know.
I have a plan in motion for an interim host of Live IFS. So, assuming that works out, I will put you in touch with that person. And if not, then yeah, I'm hoping to be back at it by the beginning of August.
You're so thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I really, if I don't talk to you, but I probably will not before in August. Oh, I wish you so much good stuff, so much whatever it is, you know, so much
back at you.
Life, so much life. I wish you so much life.
You too. Thank you.
Take good care of yourself.
Yeah, and you can write me anytime.
Thank you.
Check in.
Thank you, Jules.
And if anything comes up, if anybody cancels, I can find another spot for you.
Oh, yeah, please keep me posted if that happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. to every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts, and to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.